The other day I was listening to something and it actually just popped up on my phone while I was doing something else. So I was listening and something stood out to me. And um, it made me think about how I seem to be very misunderstood. And yeah, so it just had me kind of talking to God about it because within the past few years, I feel like I was extremely misunderstood by people. But at the same time, I did things that could make people misunderstand me as well. And it was all basically for the sake of trying to keep things as calm and neutral as possible because of what I was already battling with. But no matter what I did, it just kept getting worse and worse and worse for a while. Um, so yeah, it's basically whenever I say something along the lines of like, oh, like I don't want to go to a certain place because the people over there do this, or I don't want to hang out with them because they're into this, that, and that. In no way am I saying those things because I think I'm better than those people or I'm above them at all. It's because I'm trying to break a lot of my own bad habits, right? And so, in the midst of that, sometimes when you're breaking bad habits and I'm like submitting to God, and with that, it's just me breaking a lot of not only bad habits, but like my autopilot, stuff that I just naturally used to do. And so, when I'm in a state to where I'm not strong in my change, or I'm still trying to change, or something like that, I've found that it's a lot easier for me to just not be around people that are doing the same things that I'm trying to change within myself because the temptation is very strong, and I know how the enemy likes to tempt you. So for me, it's way. I mean, that's basically what it is. That's what it's about. Um, oh, another reason, if it's people that do things that I know when I was still living in the world, and the enemy did have his clutches in me, or his hooves, or however that goes, in me more than I'm proud to say. Um, there was things that I never really did that I may have been interested in, or it's something that could turn into a temptation for me or something like that because of the old habits that I had and I'm trying to work on. So it could also be something that I've never really experienced, but I know that temptation just might be too great for me. So I'm basically I'm trying to help myself stay on the right path when I say stuff like, okay, well, I can't go over there because of this, that, and that. And normally when I do that, I'm talking to somebody, which a lot of things have changed. I don't really hang out with people anymore, but I would say something like that to somebody that I trusted, that knew that I was going through something. And if they didn't know, I used to be the type of person where I would really break things down as far as who I am, especially if somebody seemed interested in even finding out about or learning about me. But realizing that a lot of people just didn't care about it, and they just took offense to everything that I was saying and took it personally, and it wasn't even about that. And even when I would break down like, okay, well, it's because a weakness that I have within me that I'm working on, they still would find a way to like kind of twist it and make it seem like I thought I was better than people, and that was never the case. um Another reason is because if I know that I'm still weak in an area, and me hanging out in a certain atmosphere or around certain people will end up bringing up a lot of triggers with me because of just the way I am and the way they are, then I typically am not necessarily trying to go around it because I'm not trying to be triggered. Especially, it's different when it's something that naturally happens and it just highlights something that I need to work on within myself. That's like one thing. But I've been dealing with like a lot of orchestrated behaviors with people, and I don't know if it's like the spirits that's within them or if people just really have vendettas against me or what it is. I'm not really sure, but it feels riddled with manipulation and also the feeling of them trying to entrap me in something or bait me into something. And so it's like, I just like, for me, I'm not in the place mentally yet in my walk with Jesus Christ to put myself in situations where I know that it could probably pull me backwards. I know that the whole point is for me to walk into situations and be that light and to help shed light and bring the truth and speak the gospel to people. But if it's gonna if it's gonna put me in a situation to where I'm the one backsliding and they're not really changing, in fact all they're doing is like feeding off of my energy while I end up resorting back to a person more like I was yesterday and last year and a couple years ago, then right now it's just not the time. And I know the guy wouldn't put me in that type of situation if he knows that I can't handle it. And so that's another reason why I would say something like that. So I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. Like, back when I was like over 10 years ago, I wanted to stop smoking marijuana. And so the work environment that I was in, like, people could smoke and drink, and as long as it wasn't like, it was like a casual type of drinking, not like turning up or partying or anything like that. And so I remember like telling my boss, like, I can't really be around certain things because it's like, for me, I'm in a very weak place with trying to stop smoking, and I know that naturally people just like, puff puff pass, puff puff pass. That's just like a form of the environment that we're in. So I was telling my boss, like, I can't, like, if someone passes it to me, my autopilot just takes it from their hand, and then next thing you know, I'm hitting it. And so it's like, I'm not in the place quite yet to be around this type of environment because I already know it's inevitable that when someone smokes, for one, they're used to me smoking, so I would have to announce to everybody that I wasn't smoking anymore. And even when I did try doing that, just like my autopilot, there was other people's autopilot where they were just used to passing it to me. And so my boss did agree, and they kind of stepped in as a filter and basically was like, okay, well, if somebody starts passing it to you, I'll just kind of put out there like, oh yeah, don't forget, like, you want to stop smoking. And so I was like, okay, and I tried that, and it actually worked out pretty decent. But it actually worked out, and I am very appreciative of that person doing that for me. But I normally don't have that type of filter to help me combat the battles that I'm having within myself. So it's normally just me, and if I'm used to an autopilot and there's temptation and all of that, like, I don't want to put myself in a situation to where I'm not going to be able to, by knowingly or unknowingly, or not, that's not the right way to put it, but I don't want to put myself in a situation to where I end up doing something on autopilot, so to speak, because that's just how I've thought my whole life or whatever it may be. When I know that that's a weakness for me and I know that that's something that I'm still working on and I'm not that strong in it yet. So that's another reason why I would just go ahead and be like, okay, well, I can't hang out with them or I can't be over there because this, that, and that. It's not because I think I'm better than people. It's because I'm trying to work on myself and I know my weaknesses and I know how I could possibly slip up and why I need to do what I need to do to make sure that I don't. It has nothing to do with anybody else, and it's not a form of arrogance at all. I don't know why people feel that they just naturally want to assume that I'm arrogant, and it could be it couldn't be further from the truth. Like I don't know where this has been coming from over the past few years, but yeah. Well, anyway, this whole thing where I was listening to something and it made me think of that and had me really analyzing why I do what I do and realizing that maybe that's a part of the reason why people misunderstood me or misunderstand me in certain ways. Um, yeah, so that happened like more than a couple days ago, and then this morning, like, God just put it back on my heart and wanted me to do a video on it, so here I am. And I'm doing this video not just on the whole, oh, I need and want people to understand where I'm coming from. That's a piece of it, but it's also just to help throw out there and spread awareness of how not everybody thinks the same. And I don't know why people's autopilot is just stuck on, oh, like this person has to be the worst because that's just what it is. I don't know where that's coming from. But I'm putting out there and I'm spreading awareness to other reasons why people may do the things that they do. Instead of it just being, oh, it's because they think they're better than me or they think this and think that. It's like, no, it more than likely, or in some cases, should I say, it's not even that. It's not even that. And you don't even take the opportunity to ask a person about it. Jumping to conclusions is basically assumption, and assumptions can make asses out of people. So it's like we should just not do that and actually converse with each other, get to know why people do what they do, and then you can make an assessment from there. But yeah, I just want to spread awareness. Like I don't know how many people think like me. I know I don't think like a lot of people, and it's not in some arrogant way. It's just for some reason I'm wired differently. I don't know what that's about. So I'm spreading awareness to people that know others that think kind of the way that I do, so you can kind of get a better understanding of the reasons why a person that thinks like me does what they do, instead of just going off of the autopilot of, oh, that person's the worst, so that's why they're doing what they're doing. And really, I'm a firm believer in there's a reason why people do what they do. Like, and it's just about trying to figure out what that reason is so then you can understand better. So, yeah, I don't know. I hope everybody has like a good day though, for real, for real. And I hope this helps somebody. Oh, just putting it out there, since I put out that example, I have been in situations where I didn't have that filter of somebody stepping in and like remind me, oh yeah, like, you want to stop smoking or whatever it is. And I've had it both ways, to where I was able to catch it, but yeah, like I was able to catch it, but I noticed that I also go through situations where I'm not able to catch it, or I catch it after I've done the act of whatever it is. And then I'm sitting there in regret, needing to repent and talk to God about it and feeling the conviction and all of that extra. When it's like, if I can just avoid that while I'm healing myself and strengthening my my I guess myself to reject the things that I'm trying to change. Sometimes for me it's just easier to avoid circumstances, environments and stuff like that that could easily get me to slip up. So I don't know, I just want to put that out there because I think there's a lot of misperception just in general, not just in my life, of people assuming the worst in other people and just assuming that they're doing stuff for one reason, which their reason could make sense or not even make sense, but it's always best to at least find out why they're doing what they're doing. So maybe it's something that could be worked out or not, because I mean, hey, maybe not, but it's still worth the effort in my opinion. So I don't know, I just wanted to spread awareness. Like I said, I hope everybody has a blessed and wonderful day, and just try to stay up, and when you can, lend a hand to someone. Make sure it's God led though. All right, bye.